see this stuff. You went over this stuff a million times, and I'll ask you one thing here though. What is a broker? Because you guys got definitions here. What's a broker?
As far as real estate is concerned, I'm just curious.
As far as real estate is concerned.
Person legally allowed to represent other people in buying and selling real estate.
What is the maximum commission a real estate broker can get from you?
That's negotiable.
It's negotiable. What's the maximum though? He cannot go based off a law.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a maximum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
6%.
Oh.
Essentially, what is this real estate broker going to do with you for you? Most people who close real estate close with a real estate broker, except for who? Investors hate to close with real estate brokers. They absolutely, most of the time, absolutely refuse to do so. Why? Because of this right here.
Yeah.
What is he going to do? Do you know nothing about real estate, but if you remember this, you can do the same thing. Not that you can actually function like a broker legally, if you can't do that, but you can literally do the same thing. Let's say you have someone who wants to buy and someone who wants to sell, and you know nothing about real estate. Call a title company, and you connect them together, and the title company does all the paperwork. They do all the research on the property. They'll put everything together. They do all that. They'll sign all the documents in front of them. They'll everything. That broker essentially calls the title company. He has the offer and the acceptance. He gives it to them, and they do everything else. And if it's a $300,000 house, he gets $18,000. I got my license, so I'm not mad at the 6%. But the thing of it is, they're not doing anything. But you're giving away 6%. What does that mean? You're not really understanding how this process works, how this money works. Because guess what? If you don't know nothing about real estate, you can go to a title company and say, yeah, I'm ready to buy it. And they'll walk you through it. Walk into a bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and ask them. Maybe you don't qualify, but ask them, say, I want to buy a property. They'll walk you through it. So why am I going to give this guy 6%? You're giving him 6% because he's a professional, and if something goes wrong, that's what you have. That's security. I gave the attorney 120 grand for my divorce, my very first divorce, $120,000. Not including what I had to pay for my wife's attorney, because I paid for both attorneys. And I asked Nigel, I said, what makes you worth this $120,000 when she took properties from me and stole properties from me? And he said, well, he says, I don't know. I still know that man today, and he's still my attorney today. And I called him. 2 or 3 months ago. I called him on a Sunday just to mess with him, on his personal cell phone. And I said, it's because I gave you so much money. That's the reason why I wanted to call you on a Sunday. And I'm glad that you answered, because you should. Okay. Anyway. The thing of it is, you're giving commission away, or you're giving, and we do this every day. We do this every day. We take the money, we put it into a bank if we're frugal, and we save it, and we see our account continue to go up a little bit, maybe, or a lot. And we say, well, I had 10,000 last year, I have 11,000 this year. 10 years from now I have 20,000, and you think that's a good thing. And from a consumer perspective, it's a very good thing. But from an investor perspective, it's the same as giving away your 6% commission. Yeah. Because you're getting 0.5%, maybe 1% if you put it into a CD, and you say, well, that's something. But when you look at it, inflation is greater than anything they give you in the bank, including if it's a CD. So that means even if your money is going up and the numbers are going up, in reality, your purchasing power has gone down. That's why a car 50 years ago was $2,000 or $3,000, and today it starts off at $8,000. Even a cheap one, a Geo Metro, a hatchback, the same thing that I started off with. Okay, it's an $8,000 car still, and the value of property, even though it does this, you can't get a property what they were buying them for in the 1800s. You're not going to go chop one down and build it. You're not going to do that. My grandparents got their house that they still. My mom has it now. They got it for 10 and it's worth 4. Wow. But 10,000 is worth 400,000 today. And that's because your purchasing power goes down. So you appear to be saving, and then people say that, oh, I paid off my house after 30 years. And it was worth, when I got it, $100,000, that was worth $300,000. They don't understand money. That makes no sense. Because when you go back and you look at all those mortgage payments that you made, you paid that $300,000. That's why you have $300,000 in mortgage. So you got financed for $100,000, but you paid 3.5% or 150% more than you got it for. So that equity came out of your pocket, right out of your butt. But you're looking at it as value. But if you were an investor, you would have learned how to leverage your house and use that to multiply your properties. I tell veterans all the time, I say, don't buy a house. Don't buy a house. You live right there next to Hemet, We're an hour and a half away. I say buy a fourplex in Hemet for less than you can buy a house in San Diego. Live in one of those units, drive down to school like you've been doing, take your little hour to drive down to school, but now you have an investment property. You use your VA to get that property that's less than $300,000, that's bringing you in $2,800 a month, and those are real numbers. I didn't make that up. And that means your mortgage is going to get paid, because on a $300,000 home or less than $300,000 home with a 5% interest rate, you're going to be paying less than $2,000 a month. And those fourplexes are bringing in $2,800 a month. You're living for free, and you did it on the government's tab, and you might be 22 or 21 years old. And if you got a great credit score, you can do the same thing. Think about this. I don't know what's going on. Is somebody hurting somebody back there? I don't want to be a witness to that. You know what that will mean for me? Let me turn this volume down. Okay, so I'm glad you guys showed up today. Take these things serious. Read the Wall Street Journal. Call me, bug me. Get my phone number if you don't have it. Get my email if you don't have it. Connect with one another. Get one another's phone numbers. Mike, I'm glad you showed up. Liz, Javon, Coach Thompson, and I forgot your name.
David.
David, I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad that everybody showed up, but now do something about it, because just to show up, it doesn't mean, you know how many bench players there are in basketball? Do you know that there's somebody walking around with a ring right now that has never touched the basketball court in real time? Oh, that's a saying. It's sad. But you know what? They were on the team. They were on the team. So who cares? They got a ring and you don't. And some of them were making $250,000 on that team sitting on the bench. But they guess what? They were on the team though. And that's all it sometimes takes. Just get on the team and then show up for practice and then play. But give it all you got. And you'll find that that team will go further than you could ever go by yourself. So thank you. Yes.
Just want to let you guys know Elon is available at, well, he'll host a workshop session at our place if you guys want to get together.
Yeah, for some of you young cats. And we got people, so you know, behind the scenes, there are a lot of phone calls being made. Jamar, you want to tell us what went on this week with you? Just you alone.
Yeah, I made about 23 calls this week. Nice. And out of those 23, there was 3 that I was able to pass to Dad for him to try to put in office.
Nice.
That's right.
I have a question. When you say you make 23 calls to whom concerning what?
Properties, brokers, and agents. And
Okay,
like that.
to make purchases?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we don't like to sit around. We're actually trying to close on real estate and going aggressively.
Okay.
He's looking at assignments, which is a whole other interesting way of real estate. Javon, he's taking into consideration some things because he sells vehicles, and I was showing him how he could sell more vehicles by expanding himself and rethinking himself. For instance, it makes no sense to function as just an individual. Function as a corporation or a partnership. It allows you to be, you're looked at totally different. Even the banks consider you different. Then you have a different responsibility. They know that, so they consider you totally different. And what happens when you, like for instance, in my case, when I got myself together, that I met the woman who had herself together, I multiplied myself. But what happened then when I created a business is I started to, guess what, one of the first things I did, you know, normally you don't do business with family members. Don't do business with family members. But certain family members you can do business with. I immediately start to bring in family members. People that I know, the learning curve is not, I don't need that because I know them. I got a mother as our executive secretary. I got a father who's our chief acquisition officer. I have a wife who's our COO. I have a cousin who's a director. And then what did I do? I brought in one of my brothers who makes over $120,000 a year and drives a Mercedes-Benz where he pays $4,000 for new tires, and who thinks it's a joke. The money that he makes, it's funny to him, you know. So, but I brought him in, and I brought others in, and I have a sister with a master's degree in psychology who is brilliant, married to a dude who doesn't do anything but count his money and spend it. And I have, guess what? I'm attached to individuals. My father, you know what he told my Devon the other week? When it came down to getting cards, he says, "Well, I got to keep our money together for some $25 cards." that man, you know how much real estate that man has back east. Him and his family members sell real estate to the state in the form of trees every year, so that they can do whatever they want to with the lumber. That's just that right there. He's still got real estate here in this city. This man is connected to over 30 pieces of real estate that he owns with investors right here, right now, and he couldn't buy some cards. I said that to say that the connections that we have to what's going on in the city, the pulse, the heartbeat, where the money really is right here in this room. There's not too many people that we don't know that don't have the resources. And how much money do we need to close on a piece of real estate? How much money does EDM have access to at any given time? Is it $200,000 or $300,000? 70% of what?
Whatever.
Which means if we come up with a $10,000 investment, I mean $10 million investment, what can we get in about a week? We can get $7 million. We can get somebody to write a $7 million check. But let's go ahead and come back down to something like that we're normal or used to, $300,000 properties. How much can we get on that? We can get 210. I'm looking for 150, but we can get 210 if we had to really push it hard and the real estate was right. We can get somebody to write us a $210,000 check. We don't have to go through a bank. We don't need the credit. And what will happen, what if First Investors offer individuals that are part of EDM? You don't have to have no money or credit. Research, they're looking for real estate in Detroit. Research the Detroit properties and up under the parameters that we talk to you about. You find the right deal, you bring it to EDM, you present it to our acquisition officer, he brings it to our board, the board says yes, we close on it, and how much do you have? 25% of a property that you didn't put no money to. And it's not that we're making any monies off of the individuals that found the property, because First Investors can find their own damn properties. We're doing it because we're trying to work together. So there's a lot of opportunity in the room. What are you going to do with it?